Yo, it's Plum, and I'm back with another video. So it's that time of the year again where I'll be talking about my experience with Inktober for this year. Uh, yeah. For starters, I'll show y'all the ink markers that I used. Okay, so I went with the same brand as I did last year, which is, as you can see here, it's Master Such. It's like a common brand that you'd see like in Hobby Lobby or something like that, but I went with like a bigger marker set. There's like more options to choose from for this one, because the last one didn't have as many like in between ones that I used like last year, and I want like more options like the chisel tips and the brush tips and that kind of stuff, like just like in between stuff. So I'm like, okay, this one's pretty like good, so yeah, that's the one that I used. So the markers I had last year, as you can see here, they were dried out. I mean, they're dried out now, but I came to realization, I'm like, wow, man, I had to buy like a whole like new set each time I do Inktober, which I'm not sure if that's like common with other people do, but I don't know. This is the white ink marker that I was so adamant about using from my first time doing Inktober last year, and I didn't really use it as much as I had hoped, but I don't know, I gotta like do like trial and errors and that kind of stuff. This is the only like 3 markers that I have left for my last pack. The other ones were either dried out or I pretty much ran like the tip of like the ink marker down to the ground. So yeah, these markers I have here, I got this from like a random set, but they came out, you know, these are only ones that kind of like were long lasting, you know, especially like the brush tip for this set, and I use that one a lot for like some of like my more darker drawings I did, like a lot of like black that's on the paper, like black ink that's on the paper. So yeah, like each one of like these markers is just stuff I had that I also use along with like my new pack that I had, and yeah, I think it did pretty well. So let me just put those aside. Next I'm gonna be showing kind of like, this is like you know, the red line tracing pencil thing you see like people use for like character art or whatever, like the background sketch. I kind of like bought those, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna need this when I do the background sketch. It works, but I think I gotta use it like more often, because I went with too hard on the paper whenever I did my sketches. So you might see some red pop up in like a faint red pop up in like some of like the some of my drawings that I'll be showing you guys. So yeah, I mean, like, this is just like random marker whatever that I used, and yeah, that's pretty much like what I used for Inktober this year. I think I'll probably have to buy a new set. So now let's talk about the theme for this year, quote unquote. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty confused as to why there seemed to be a recurring outdoorsy traveling theme this time around, because last year it didn't have like a theme. I guess they're trying something new for this year, since like this has Inktober, well, the official prompt list has been going on since like 2016 apparently, when I looked it up on the website. So yeah, I guess they're trying like a new theme. It was, I mean, when I was looking at the prompt, I was like, okay, backpack, discover, boots, exotic, binoculars, landmark. I'm like, okay, guidebook. I'm like, okay, this is there's a recurring theme. Camp, hike. Okay, yeah, traveling, going on excursion or something like that. Definitely like the theme for this time of year. I'm kind of curious, like, what next year next year's like prompt list for 2025 is gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna stick with like the kind of like theme that they did this year, like doing a theme for each like year, so it's kind of like the same kind of like vibe. You can kind of like build a story on it, I guess. Or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, for me, I wasn't too proud of my drawings for Inktober this year. I would say there's probably I'm not sure. I think like there's not many that I'm proud of, but that thought turned out well, I would say. But I think like you'll see what I mean in a minute here, in a second here. But most of the days didn't turn out the way that I quite like imagined. Okay, so for day 1, the word was backpack. Now, initially, I was looking at a reference and I really wanted to draw, emphasize the backpack, right? Trying to draw a guy kind of like holding the backpack. But as you can see, I couldn't just not do day 1. Not even like a strong start. The boots was okay, the clothes was, but I really struggled with day 1 because I felt like I did really good last year, but I didn't really do good this year. So for day 1, I just kind of like, I don't know, I just put something there. I uploaded it. I'm like, I am not satisfied with this, like, at all. So I was like, this is a terrible start. All right, so day 2 was discover. So I don't know. I think I wanted, because I'm trying to, it's been like over a month since I did Inktober, so I'm trying to refresh my memory, but I'm pretty sure that I wanted like a character to be getting like discovered, like playing like hide and seek, or like maybe the character isn't like actually playing hide and seek and that's why they look so terrified, so looking back on it, I'm looking at the neck on the character. The body of the character and the neck of the character is just, it's like, I don't know, like it doesn't line up correctly. The more I look at this, like, the longer you stare at it, the more you kind of just like, well, I don't know if that goes together. I don't know. I've never really drawn like a character like this before. So I was just trying something new to see like what I can do. So yeah, I just drew a character getting discovered. I tried to add like some hatching and like a lot of like harsh shading with like black ink marker, and yeah, I think this one turned out okay. I like the expression on the character's face. I like individual pieces of this, but as a whole, I'm like, I give myself like a 6 or something like that. Day 3 would be boots. Now, I was already thinking about like, the character boots from like Dora the Explorer. So that's why I was just kind of like, wait a minute, this is like, but I'm like I can't draw like boots like the character itself, because I feel like that would be too kind of like simple or easy. So as you can see, I went pretty hard with this one. What I'm saying? I really pushed the limits with like my knowledge of perspective, which is not much. Let me reiterate. Let me specify that. Perspective is not really my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like in-depth perspective like this, that's why I'm like, okay, this one went pretty hard though. It goes kind of uphill, downhill from here. So this right here was my peak. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. This is my peak and we're only on day 3. So I'm like, I don't know. I was scared, but I did my best with like the sword, and I really tried my best with like the angle. I'll try like, you might see a little bit of like the red line in this one, but I tried my hard trying to make the boot itself, but it was kind of hard. But it's not 2 boots, but like 2 pairs, but you know, it's a boot, so I'm like, yeah, it works. But because the reference I was looking at, I was like, okay, because I tried to like make the reference work for me. So I was trying to add like clothing to the character, change up the hairstyle, that kind of stuff. I want like a bowl cut like this, because I'm like, okay, I kind of want the character's eyes to be hidden, because I don't feel like drawing eyes. I just feel like drawing what I see, because as you can see with like the pants, it took like forever to do like the hatching. Not even, there's some hatching there, but it's mostly just kind of like a different shading technique where you kind of just like kind of like line, just different line weight of how I shaded stuff, and like partially like the gray you might see in some of these other drawings. It's just kind of like with like one of like my markers that I had, one of them, like the old markers I had from like last time I did Inktober, which was last year. I just kind of use that to my advantage, kind of like trying to get as much ink as I possibly can, because I'm like, I need this, because I don't want the shirt or everything else to just be plain white. So I'm like, okay, this works nice. So yeah, that's day 3. Okay, so day 4, hey, hands down, not gonna lie, day 4 went pretty hard. I went pretty hard with day 4. I think it was just about to turn like 11, like almost midnight. You know, I was just like, I gotta snap a picture of this and get this going like ASAP. But I started doing this drawing right here maybe around like 8 p.m. or something like that. All these drawings I did, even like last year, I do these different kind of drawings late, like in like the evening time, just because that's the best time I can focus on like drawing that kind of stuff. I never really draw during the day for some reason, so I don't know. But for this one, the word is exotic, and I'm like, okay, let me think. Looking up the definition of the word exotic, I'm like, okay, plants can be exotic. So I did like these flowers that have like different like stripes and stuff, that kind of stuff on it, like weird like the inner part of a plant, well, the inner part of a flower, like I don't know what it's called, but I pretty much like these like fancy flowers on like a vine. I could have maybe added shading on the vine itself, but I kind of added a little bit of shading where some of the flower petals are hitting the vine itself. So honestly, I really like this one. I really like it. Like how like there's like kind of like different like stuff that's in depth. Like some of the flowers are like really big, the other ones are like really small, because like more like in the background. I didn't really do a background for this one because, or like most of my drawings, I didn't really do a background. Just because I just really feel like it. But this one I'm the most proud of. Definitely this one, the boots. Oh yeah, those gotta be my top favorites by far. Now we get to day number 5. So for day number 5, the word was binoculars, so I couldn't really do much with this one. I just kind of like, this is my first time drawing like glass, so I used like that same like marker that was kind of like pretty much out of ink, and I really used that to add like some highlights, that kind of stuff, and some of the shadows, that kind of stuff for this like word. I kind of like took inspiration from how binoculars are like in like a steampunk kind of world, so you can see the gear there. Some of the binoculars like connect with a little like a metal thing. So yeah, I kind of like, I used stippling as shading for this one, and I think it turned out pretty nice. I think it turned out pretty well. So yeah, like I would say this one I'm pretty proud of as well. Now the next one, I'm not really sure. I got still decide on that one. Okay, so for day 6, The word was Trek. Now, granted, I had no clue that this was a real word, didn't know what it meant or anything like that. So it pretty much just meant like a long journey, like from one side, like as you can see that I have like on like the screen of like my character's looking at, right? The TV my character's looking at, right? From one side of the map to the other, like where your destination is, like destination, let's just say you're at destination A, right? And you're trying to get to destination B. Well, actually, you're trying to get to destination F, and it's on the other side of the map in a video game, right? So I'm sitting here just like, how can I do that for as like a drawing? So I decided, I'm like, why not do it as like a, like me looking at like a screen, like a video game or something like that, you know? Because I honestly had no clue where to like pull inspiration from. So I kind of just like, I did the best I could. I got my character sitting on, it doesn't look like it, but it's a beanbag. I kind of just like took inspiration from like the silly drawings I did last year and just kind of like used that to kind of like fill in the blanks for drawings for the different prompts for different days of this Inktober, just to like kind of like put something there rather than me just like skip a day. So I'm like, let me just do something kind of like goofy, not so serious, you know. Got a like little guys there in a bookshelf, just kind of like chilling. Those are kind of like, I guess they would be plushies, you know. Plushies, a little plant pot right there, a little stool there. So I mean, it's not the best, but day 6, I've only explored 20% of the map. Yikes, it's going to be a long trek. See where okay, never mind. Okay, cool. Day 7, yeah, for passport is the word. You know, I kind of just want like a mysterious stranger kind of moment where you just have like this spooky do, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, here's my passport kind of vibe. I whited out like the eyes, and I just kind of like drew like several different like lines, kind of like really soft lines to try to like make the eyes like kind of like stand out, and I think I did a pretty good job. I kind of kept the thumb on like the passport like kind of like neutral as far as color goes. Kind of have like some of it kind of going off the page because honestly I was trying to figure out how can I make this word fun rather than just draw a passport and like nothing else. Like I'm like, okay, let me have a character handing the passport, you know, like a mysterious stranger, yada yada, whatever. But yeah, I think I did pretty good. I did like a lot of like different shading. I kind of added like, I wanted to add like some type of symbol, like something like on passport itself, because I noticed when I looked up different variations of the passports, I was like, okay, so passports usually have like a symbol or like something to represent like where that person is like from, I guess. So I kind of like put like it's supposed to be like an eye, like a closed eye as like a sun. It's like a sun, but there's like a closed eye in the middle. So if you don't see that, that's fine. You know, I was just testing things out, seeing what sticks, what doesn't. But yeah, I used a lot of black for like the silhouette of the character because I didn't really feel like drawing the character itself. I kind of want the character to be kind of like in shadow. But yeah, day 8. Let me tell you something right now. This took so much out of me because I did this one kind of like vertical in my sketchbook, and let me tell you, hike, I was like, how can I do this? And I'm like, okay, what if my character was like, what if I have a character that was like hiking, like they're like clothes up, like they're trying to, you know how some people like hike, you know how sometimes you gotta hike like your pants up, like you got partially look like your cloth, like your pants, like your skirt or whatever, because you don't want it to get wet or you don't want to get dirty on the ground because it hangs really low. And that's where my mind was. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Looking at this now, she kind of looks like an assassin, like a train. Like those different like webtoon comics, whatever, like a manga, whatever, where it's like you got like the maid who's like trained to like, what I'm saying, like make sure that they're like their master is like well taken care of, and nobody's gonna like stand in the way. So they just like, I got hands. You know what I'm saying? I got hands. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I kind of just this one, I'm not gonna lie, this one took a lot. I had to use like, usually I only really use like one reference, not really one reference. When it comes down to these Inktober drawings, I usually use like a few references. I had to use quite a bit more for this one because I was trying to get like, because I don't really know how to draw like fabric, like folds, that kind of stuff, like the folding of like clothing, that kind of stuff. So this one I was really struggling with because I'm just like, I don't know how to emphasize none of that. Like a lot of these ideas I have, I was like, no clue, don't know. But I think I did okay. Let me know if like you have any tips for like how to draw like folds when it comes down to like skirts and that kind of stuff, like really long skirts, not really short skirts, but more so like long skirts. Because I think I did my best. This was my first time ever drawing something like this, so this one took a lot out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think I did pretty well with like the hike of the character's clothing. And I designed this character this way because I gave the character gloves because I just didn't feel like drawing hands. I'll be honest, I just didn't feel like drawing hands. I made the character's maid uniform like this because I don't know, like I was looking at different references and I was just like, I kind of like this style where it's like some of it's kind of like there's like this big ruffle thing on like the shoulders, and then like the guard thing is like on like the strap things on like the arms, like to like make sure they can like, kind of like functionality as well I was thinking about. So yeah, that's not opening in like the shirt that you might see up top. That's like a ruffle thing. That's part of like the collar, so like the shirt collar. So I think I did pretty all right with this one. This one is like one of my favorites. I'm not gonna hold you, that was one of my favorites. Day number 9. Okay. Yeah, this one, wow, right? Like this one was, it's definitely something, I'll say that for a fact. Sun, day 9, sun. So for this one, I was trying to figure out like, okay, I want the sun to stand out, but how do I make the sun stand out? Okay, I make a character really small, I make the sun huge, but I don't want the sun to just be kind of like smiling. I want the sun to be like an eye. I got like inspo from my Pinterest board, because I'm just like, dude, I want the sun to be kind of like eerie, but kind of like eerie, but also kind of like not really like creepy. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice. It kind of looks like a mediator, something like that. Yeah, figured out what I'm trying to say. Basically, right, I wanted to be kind of like a noble lady, like the character that you see at the bottom. I wanted to be kind of like a noble lady that has like kind of like wavy hair. That's what the character is supposed to be, like a noble lady, just kind of like looking up at like this big old sun that has an eye. She's just like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Just like, yo, what is going on? I don't know why I went for a noble lady. I don't know. It like implied that's supposed to be a noble lady, but I don't know. That's just where my mind went, to be honest. So yeah, day 9, sun. But I went pretty hard with like the the different techniques to make this one like pop, because I wanted like the very edge of like the sun to be kind of like, if you look at a sun at the sun, right? Well, don't look at the sun directly, look at an image of the sun, right? But you ever notice how like there's like little streaks at the end of like the sun that's kind of like blurred out, but that's part of like, the beam that comes from the sun? I wanted to do that, but I wanted to be kind of like the more inner that goes towards like the sun is like a different shading technique altogether, like kind of like hatching, I guess. But I'm like, okay, this one turned out nice. Now, day 10 is nomadic, and I believe nomadic just means traveler, I believe. And I tried looking at like Minecraft villagers, cause you know the Minecraft traveling villager, he's nomadic, but like he would be like considered like a nomad, right? And I was trying my hardest trying to figure out how would I draw like a nomad. So I kind of like took inspiration from what the Minecraft villager was wearing, as well as like what I saw like online for like on like Pinterest and that kind of stuff. And I kind of like took inspo to kind of like give the character like a wool, I don't know what it'd be called. Basically, the character got like this wool kind of like fur coat, almost like full like a blanket almost that they're wearing, with like something warm for like their head, like a hoodie. It's kind of like a hoodie if you open. It's kind of like an open like jacket, right? And the jacket's just like more like woolish. There's a lot of like, it's very thick, you know what I'm saying? It's basically like wearing a blanket with like a hoodie on. Essentially, that's kind of like the inspiration I was kind of going for here. And little dots right here that you might see underneath the character's foot is that's like grass. But I kind of like gave the character kind of like stylish pants, but pants that's like that'll be, I guess, like thick, more on a thicker side, since the character is a nomad and they'll be traveling like to different areas, preferably for this character more colder environment. Day 11, snacks. So for day 11, I don't know, I guess I kind of just wanted a character to be eating snacks. So I just drew Kirby inhaling some strawberries. I tried to use like different shapes, I guess. I mean, to me, these are how strawberries look, and this is how like strawberries kind of like look in like the Kirby universe, I guess. As far as back I can remember, but yeah, I kind of added like some different line work for like the tongue of Kirby, as well as like some swirly stuff for like the those shoes. I guess those are red shoes, I guess, for Kirby. Yeah. But yeah, I think I did pretty okay with this one. Nothing too crazy, just something simple. Okay. Day 12, remote. For day 12, so I'm pretty proud of this one. It's kind of like if you remember like Channel Chasers from Fairly Odd Parents, like that one like episode special where like Timmy and then like Vicky, or like his babysitter Vicky, are like surfing through the different like channels and different animation styles. This is like the remote that they use. So I made a remote because I'm like, this is the best time for me to do remote, because this is where my mind went. You know what I'm saying? Added like some stippling, little swirly bits. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, dude. This one, I cooked with this one. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely cooked. I'm pretty proud of this one too. And I kind of use like the font for the Fairly Odd Parents font for like to draw like out day 12 and like remote. Just like small touch, but this one I cooked. Like if you put like a like the channel chasers like remote next to like the remote that I made, what you see on screen right now, hey, maybe not 1-to-1 scale, but it's definitely, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely scaling. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, this is good, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I cooked with this one, not gonna lie. Okay, so I'm not gonna be on this one for too long. You know what I'm saying? I basically just kind of, I don't know, man. I feel like I kind of like gave up with this one, because this is the one I'm like not proud of, because the character you see right now, that's supposed to be Kirby, like in some shading, but you wouldn't be able to tell that. Like I don't know, like maybe like the sun that you see right there, it's all swirled out, whatever, is like on the horizon, and there's like a rock right next to Kirby on the right with a hat. I don't know, man. Like I was trying to draw clouds, like to kind of like distort them a little bit. Let's just say this is like an inverse, you know, the inverse image you might see that where it's like all the different like pinks and blues, whatever, or like, you know, let's just say it's kind of like that, right? And it's supposed to be like on like a, I don't know, like a boardwalk, or the Kirby sitting like on a boardwalk or like a pier or whatever. I don't know, man. Yeah, day 13, Horizon. Definitely not my best. This is when I was just like, yeah, this is like day 12, cooking. Day 13, I don't know what's going on. But yeah. Alright, day 14, Rome. I went with like, you know how like your eyes just kind of like roam around the room? Like your eyes are following something? So that's kind of like what this character is doing. Like the eyes are like kind of like roaming, like from like looking at something that's kind of like going from one side of the room to the other. So I kind of did that in like little stages. But the first stage you see up top is kind of like their eyes are to the far left, and then to the middle, and then to the far right. I wanted to add like a bit more to this, as far as like kind of like adding shading to the eyes, but I didn't really have any extra time, because like I said beforehand, pretty much all these days for Inktober that I did for this year, I was on a crunch for time, because it was like 3 minutes before it's supposed to hit midnight, and I was trying to post this stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, hold on, I'm cooking, but let me actually speed up the process very quickly, because I gotta take a picture of it, you know, get rid of all the eraser marks, take a picture of it, and then like upload it to TikTok, put it like a caption, little hashtags I have there, and then hit post, and then the posting thing might take like an additional like 30 seconds, so I'm like, oh, please. It's like I'm trying to turn in like it's like I'm trying to look at like a discussion post or something like that, for like a college boards discussion post or something like that. And then I got until 11:59 p.m. to turn it in. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. But I try to keep like consistency. The reason why this one took me so long to do is because I was trying to be as consistent as possible with like the face being the same as well as the eyes being the same, which is pretty hard to do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I use like the red line thing to try to like map the stuff out, and it took a while to do, but I'm really satisfied with this one. Day 15, guidebook. You know, nothing too crazy. I just looked up what a guidebook is, and it's pretty much like a manual, I guess. I don't know. Either way, I made a guidebook for glasses. Just drew some glasses on there, just put guidebook full cap. I didn't make it like 3D. I just kind of make it like you're looking at it like dead on, so the image would be flat. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did for guidebook. Nothing too crazy. The shading, as you can see here, I didn't want the guidebook to be just all white, so I made like a border, like a black ink border around it, and then like kind of like a highlighted, kind of just like took like the pen and just kind of like across the top, across the middle, across like the gaps, but left like a kind of like a white space around like the word guidebook, as well as the glasses and that kind of stuff. So yeah. Day 16, grungy. Grungy basically means kind of like unkept, kind of like messy, I guess. So I kind of just took a step back and looked at my bag that I use to store all my different art stuff, like ink markers, charcoal pencils, etc, etc. So it's not like, it's just the bag is the thing that's true. Everything else I kind of just like took it in like a more like a perspective kind of take. So I think I did okay with this one. You know, kind of this black thing you see, it's like in like a deep shade of black. That's like you see like in the background, that's like that's part of like the desk that I use, and it's not the full desk, but it's just like kind of like the legs of the desk. So there's that, and then like the thing in white that has like the little line there, that's like the part of like the wall. And this hexagon looking thing you see in the ground, that's a rug. Yeah, may not seem as obvious, but that's just kind of like what I was seeing. So yeah, I didn't really add like anything to like the floor itself. I don't know. I think I was just more so focused on the ground, because I was trying to figure out like, okay, how can I add some more depth to like this ground here? So let me add like a little rug here. So that's kind of where my mind was. I could have added like maybe like a little, maybe like some little hatching marks just scattered around like on like the white space of the ground, because it is a lot of white space, but I don't know, I just kept it there. But yeah, day 16, grungy. Day 17, journal. So for this one, I kind of wanted like a character to just kind of be holding like their journal like in one hand, while just kind of like standing there looking kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, I cooked with this one. Like this one right here, the last one, I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of okay. This one, this right here is my favorite, because I like how I did like the hair, like the fro, and like just the overall design of the characters, like kind of like the shading like on like the eyelids. I'm like, yes, I like this character. I want this character to be like a recurring character or something. Yeah. And I put like a little bit right there. You'll see like that character that's in like the little comic thing like on the far right. You'll see that character is kind of like okay. Basically this character that you see on screen right now, they're just saying that's my dream journal. If you know, you know. Another character just like, okay, like it's like okay, like I didn't like ask, but okay. Yeah, I kind of did like the characters with like without like actual arms, just legs, and just kind of like a floating hand, just like, it's my dream journal. Okay, just like, oh, okay, yeah. But I really like this one. I like how I gave like the character like a sweater, and I don't have a name for this character. If you want to give this character a name, then comment down below, like in the comment section, like what you want, like any names for this character that you think might fit him. So yeah. I didn't really give the character shoes, just kind of like made like bell bottom slack pants, like all the way down. But yeah, I like this one. Okay, and day 18 you see that other character from the previous little comic with, like, you know, the like half shaved like hair. And for day 18 the word was drive, and I kind of like gave the character like a gave her like a futuristic looking bike. I didn't really I don't know. I don't really know how to draw vehicles, as you might be able to tell, so I kind of like went with something. I'm like, okay, it'll be futuristic, you know, it'll float. You know what I'm saying? Add little hover things on the bottom. Add a little stippling here. Boom. It's kind of cool. Add a little exhaust in the back. And there we go. And the character just kind of just like wearing like a little fluffy like sweater or whatever. Same thing with the other character wearing like a little fluffy jacket or whatever. Just like new bike. Yeah, you know. This is part of like the little silly doodle drawings that I was talking about earlier that I was gonna do. Just like kind of like something to fill in space. Doesn't have to be like too serious. But yeah. Day 19, ridge. So like I think most people did for this word, they did like a mountain ridge, you know, which I did. I just kind of like gave the mountain kind of like a little bumpy shape and just kind of fill in the blank, like little lines here and there. And yeah, I pretty much just like add some little guys. It's like two birds. Yeah, I kept this one very simple, and I like this one a lot. It's not one of my favorite ones I did. Day 17 would be my favorite one, by far, as well as the earlier ones I did. But I think I did pretty good with this one. Day 20, Uncharted. Not gonna lie, I don't remember what this word is, like what it means. So let me do that right now. Uncharted means of an area of land or sea not mapped or surveyed. So what the fuck? I don't know. I think I just wanted to do like, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to kind of like give like a like different stairs that don't really go anywhere, like they're not really mapped out. I'm trying to like play into it a little bit. So I kind of like did like some stair steps going up, down, kind of like, you know, the optical illusion of different staircases not really go anywhere, or like, you know, like in Harry Potter, like all the different staircases that moves and like it goes one way and then you're just like, how can I go back down the steps? So yeah, I kind of did some like those steps kind of small and far out to show how like the distances. I didn't really add too many different staircases, mainly because at some point I think I started to get lost. I'm getting kind of confused, like, is this going up or down? But yeah, I just did like a couple just to kind of show that. The first, the top ones that you see, those are kind of like more 3D, and some of them are kind of going down, up, sideways. But yeah, add some shading there. I kind of like made the most of it black, with the background like just in black, just because I felt like it fit, it being like in black rather than kind of like a void, rather than it being kind of like the white that's on the paper, just so that like the stair steps won't clash with like the background. Yeah. Day 21. Rhinoceros. So for this day, I just kind of I just drew a rhino. I don't know, like I just drew a rhino in a tux. Just kind of, not much. I did use a reference for this one because I'm like, I don't really know what to really do for this one. So I did use a reference. I kind of like for like shading, I kind of wanted like to add like kind of the rough like kind of skin texture you see in like on a rhino, like an elephant. So I just kind of used like one of my brushes, the same brush that was like pretty much out of ink, but I was trying to like make the most of it, just kind of get like that texture I'm looking for. Just kind of did a little pattern. Some of it was going horizontal, and then I went back and did kind of like at like an angle and a little bit like vertical, whatever. Just trying to get like that depth I'm looking for. And I had the hardest time trying to figure out like how would a tuxedo look like on a rhino, because there's been characters like in Zootopia or something like that, the movie Zootopia, and they wear clothes, but I'm like, how would this character wear clothes? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't really know. So I'm like, okay, let me just I went through a lot of different trial and errors, and then I finally ended up with this one, because I'm like, okay, little bow tie, little tuxedo shirt, little jacket, kind of give it like some ripples for like a tummy. Okay, I'm like, all right, we getting somewhere with this one. And I added like the little ear there. I didn't add 2 ears, just one. The big old what's that thing called? Horn? Big old horn. I think it's called horn, I don't know. But a big old horn for the front, and then for the little back one, a little bit small. But I had like some little lines there, a little bit of shading. Shading's like in black, but you get it. And I really like this one. I think this one turned out well. Day 22. Camp. So for this one, I just wanted to add Kirby back in there with Waldy. With Waldy, you know what I'm saying? There's a Waldy getting chased by some bees in the background. And then I guess it would be kind of evening time with like the background like in black. So yeah, there's like a little, because I guess like this Waldy was trying to like, that's getting chased by bees with like little flowers on its head, was trying to get like some wood, I guess, for like the little bonfire. And you got Kirby kind of just sleeping in there, not even aware of what's going on. And you got the other Waldy inside the camp with Kirby that's kind of just like oh no, like kind of just like watching it happen unfold. Just like I don't really know how to help you. Yeah, just pretty much like Kirby and 2 Waldys camping out in like the middle of like this little forest going on right here. Yeah, I think the hardest part was trying to figure out the trees, because I'm like, man, there's a lot of, it's like this, I draw, right? I draw, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like an illustrator, but I don't draw a lot of nature like a lot of perspective things in nature, of that matter. No particular reason, I just never really experimented with drawing things in nature. So yeah, I don't know. This is camp. Like I'll probably like, not this year. This year's about to end, but next year maybe, not for sure, but definitely maybe. I'll try my hand at actually experimenting with drawing stuff in perspective, just upping my art skills in different areas. I say. Okay, day 23, Rust. As you can see, this is a scientist that has like a mechanical hand, like the little scientist glasses with like the long hair, with like the little, you know what I'm saying, like little coat thing that he's wearing. I'm really proud of this one. I kind of wanted to add a little bit more details to this one, but the main focus was on the rust, like the word rust. So there's like rust on like the mechanical hand that the character has. The rust is like the little like black smudges that you see on there. Because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, how would you draw rust with black and white? Like the white on the paper and the black of the ink. Because that's what I do with like Inktober, right? Because I'm just like, I see other people use like color to represent like different aspects of like the prompt, like the daily prompts, right? But I'm like, I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of taking like the creativity out of Inktober with just using like black and white and adding color. Because I'm like, I don't know, I feel like you should let like the black ink like speak for itself rather than like add color to it. But that's my own thing. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I like this pose. Finding this pose was kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie to you. On Pinterest, I was like, because like I have in my mind, I have a vision, right? I'm just like, okay, but what if the character's kind of like here's like my hand, right? Why is the character doing this pose? Don't know, but I do like this character, and if you have a name for him, then of course, comment down below what you should give a name, like what kind of name you can come up with for this mad scientist character with like the rusted hand. And I guess this character would have one hand that's rusted and one hand that's not. Like he got like his real hand and then he got this rusted hand. So if you got a name for this character, then yeah, let me know in the comment section. Day 24, Expedition. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Plum, this is kind of crazy. Not gonna lie, it's pretty crazy. Now, the background that you see, like the lines, that kind of stuff, I did that after I already drew the ship. I put that out there. I drew that after I did the ship. So I drew the ship first and then the background. So if the lines aren't, you know what I'm saying, don't connect all the way, there's a reason for that. Because I'm like, bro, how am I supposed to draw Expedition? I'm like, yo, this goes perfectly well. Little pirate ship going a little journey. Boom. Now it might be like, why is the water like that? I don't know. I would assume that this is kind of like at night, so it's kind of like you can't really see. So you might see like some white specks right there, but that's like the reflection from like either the moonlight or from the light that you might see like on the ship. So you might see like little white little dots or whatever on like the boat itself, like the ship itself, and that's light. Like the little cabin things, like the captain's cabin or like whatever. So yeah, there's that one. Yeah, like I added like a lot of detail to this one. This one took, I don't know how long this one took. This one took a couple, definitely, to plan it out, maybe like a whole hour. To actually draw it out, maybe like 90 minutes. I don't know. Something crazy like that. Do like the little captain, what was that thing called? Little things up top. The crew, basically like the lookout thing. You can look and climb up and look and see if there's anything like land ho type beat, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, drew the little light at the back. I didn't draw anything at the front of the ship because I'm just like, yeah, I don't really feel like it. So yeah, I kind of like did like, this one took a lot of black ink. Like I used the black ink marker to try to do like the full silhouette of the ship because I didn't want to draw like a full detailed ship with like just hatching, that kind of stuff, because I'm just like, I don't have time for that. So let me just draw the silhouette of it and then add stuff to imply texture, you know what I'm saying? Do the marker thing in like a specific order, you know, try strokes, like, okay, do curve. I don't know, you can't see me, but I'm taking my fingers, I'm kind of like doing like a little curve, like, okay, like a little curve, you know? So yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one though. I think this one definitely, I don't know how many I have so far, but this is definitely like in the top 6. I was gonna say 5, maybe either top 5 or top 6, top 10 definitely of my favorite drawings for this year. Day 25, Scarecrow. Now, if you played Lego games, you would know that the Scarecrow in a Lego video game, well, Batman Lego video game, on PlayStation 2, this is what this character looks like. Basically, this is what the character looks like, and that's what I drew. It was pretty hard trying to draw the Lego head shape, because I'm like, dude, this is, because it's not a square, it's a square with like a lot of like 8-point like rounded edge, or like 16 or something like that, something crazy like that. So I'm like, okay. And then the Lego hat, I wanted the Lego hat to be huge, so I made it huge. And I'm not gonna lie, the markings that you see around the eye of Scarecrow, beautiful. I love doing that part because I like how it looks. I'm like, yeah, I like this one, especially like the uneven mouth, like the stitched mouth. I'm like, yeah, I had fun with this one. And I do like the little buckle thing that you would see like on the hat of the Scarecrow. And I'm like, yeah, I really like this one. I think this one turned out pretty well. And I made like the text for Day 25 Scarecrow kind of like eerie, kind of like uneven, kind of jagged, kind of like the Scarecrow's mouth. So to give it that kind of vibe and feel. Day 26, camera. Like I said beforehand, I cooked with this one. I cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like I cooked with this one. Not gonna lie. Drawing this face was pretty hard. The hands, yes, I did draw those hands. Yes, it was hard. Cause, man, let's right now, I was getting lost. I was getting so lost. I was getting lost in sauce, man. I was like, dude, like, was it always this hard trying to draw like the very close up of a character? Because I used the full page. This is like one of those drawings where I used the full page, as you saw in the last one. Where I used the full page, and I was just like, dude, is this right? Because I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, so the character will hold their camera up, kind of like right there. So I'm like, yeah, it would cover like the character's nose as well as that side of their face, and it will make part of their face seem, see, for this, it makes the character's face look smaller or kind of like lopsided, I would say, but like uneven, I guess. But that's just how it would be realistically, because you have all this mass on like one side of the face, so it makes everything seem uneven, but it's really not. Yeah, I'll use several different references for this one, because I was just like, yeah, but I'm like, okay, I think I'm cooking with this one. I used a lot of black for the shading on the neck, just because I wanted to be I just wanted to be the same as the black pupil of like the eye. So I'm like, okay, cool. Also, I've seen like in different like webtoon series, like whatever, where people kind of like they want the other eye to still be there because they went the time out to draw it, so they kind of like do like transparent to like the like the hair is still there covering the eye, but it kind of like doesn't cover it because you see the other eye there, but it's just kind of like the line work of it, I guess. And that's pretty much what I did with like the eyebrow, because I'm like, well, the eyebrow gotta be here, but I don't know, maybe I could have like do without the eyebrow, or just kind of like have the eyebrow hidden. But that's what I wanted to do at the time. I wrote my name, well, like my signature on the thing itself, like plum in cursive, just because the reference I was looking at, it had like a small like little name thing on there, because I'm just like, I don't know how to draw a camera. First off, I'm just like, okay, let me get a character holding a camera, and the character is kind of looking at the picture, just like, okay. And yeah, this hand was hard as F. It's hard as fuck. You know what I'm saying? To try to like draw it, because I'm just like, dude, man, this in the camera was the hardest part. The character itself, you know, that's simple, right? This, dude, like, it was so much, especially like the little dots, because I did like a little stippling like on the camera itself to add like texture to it, like add texture as well as shading to it, because I'm just like, I don't really know how to add shading to this. I can't just make this whole camera black, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how the reference was. I'm just like, I don't really want to do that, because I wouldn't be able to see like the details on the camera itself, because I don't have gray. Like I got like the gray on the lens of the camera, but I was running out of that marker, so I'm like, shoot, man, I gotta make this thing last for at least 4 more drawings. So like 4 or 5 more drawings. So I just kind of used stippling and went from there. But very proud of this one. So if you've seen like the new show, like new anime or whatever, if you watch anime at all, there's a show called Dandadan, and that's kind of like the song that was going through my head while I was trying to plan out how to draw Day 27 Road. So I pretty much like just use that as inspiration to try to like draw like a road, like different roads going through the character's glasses. And I was like, okay, dun 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 dun, or something like that, right? That probably sounds terrible, but anyways, yeah, just kind of kept the hair simple. Yeah, kept the hair simple, but I kind of just added rows going in between, going through like the characters, like eyes, that kind of stuff. Some of it like connects, as you probably see here, and yeah, I really like this one. I like little sweat marks there, kind of like the character's like nervous about something. So yeah, I might make this like a full character at some point, but I don't know. If you got a name for this guy, let me know in the comment section. Because coming up with a name for a character is very hard. A lot of the OCs I have in my mind, no names. You know, not even like a. Sometimes most of them don't even have like an actual physical form. Like I haven't like drawn any of that stuff yet, so it's like there's just text in my mind with like the character's backstory and everything, but what the character looks like, don't know. What the character's name is, don't know. What's the main plot with this character, couldn't tell you. Hey, I don't know. But if you have a name that you would like to go give this character, leave some suggestions, because it would really help out. Day 28, Jumbo. So at first, I was gonna draw Jumbo, the elephant, from like, saying Big Mouse. But I was just like, man, I don't feel like drawing another animal. Like, after drawing that rhino, I was like, that's it, man. I cannot draw animals that well. I really can't. So, hey, I was like, let me draw a really jumbo hand, because jumbo just means huge, like really huge. So I'm like, okay, let me draw like a really huge hand, kind of like creeping over, with like a floating head, like entity. So yeah, I don't know. I think I wanted to draw something kind of creepy since it was Halloween. So I got this character that's kind of like not like line art or anything like that, but it's just kind of like implied like being this kind of just like overarching, this kind of like I guess this space. So the hand's just kind of like the hand and like the character's head, floating head, it's just kind of like there. The things you see on the side of the character's face, that's hair. But yeah, but it's kind of like ripping through this dark space with light. The character's still evil, I would say. So got like this jumbo hand, and I kind of like wanted it to be like a jumbo hand, because at first I was thinking about Jumbo the elephant, and then I was thinking about like like different puppeteer stuff, right? But it's like I wanted to do like a small character, but then like the puppeteer strings are kind of like controlling the character, but the puppeteer's hand or hands are like jumbo, like huge. But I was like, I don't know how to do that. Like, because it's like, it's not the character, because when you do puppeteer work, right, they're using like a wooden thing, like a wooden like a X, right? And they use that with like strings attached to the puppet to control it. But I'm like, I don't know how to do all of that, and that sounds like a lot of work. So I'm like, nah, man, cool idea, but I was like, how am I gonna execute that? No clue. So this is what I end up with. So yeah, day 28, Jumbo. I added like a lot of different hatching, made the fingers like really sharp. Didn't really give the character like actual thumbs. It's just like really like sharp, like nails to really pierce their the character's enemies, whatever. Day 29, Navigator. So granted, I was thinking about two things. One, I was thinking about One Piece, and I was thinking about kind of like steampunk-ish vibes. I'm actually a big fan of like the whole steampunk like aesthetic. I like how like you can see the different gears and that kind of stuff, which is why I drew the binocular, like I talked about like earlier, like a steampunk kind of vibe. So for this one, I wanted like the same kind of like a theme. So I made the character like controlling like this airship that has like the little bar things that you see there, and kind of like the wooden floorboard. So yeah, this is like supposed to be like an airship. Like at first I was gonna draw like an airship in the background, but I was just like, nah, I'm gonna draw this. You know what I'm saying? The shading on the character's clothing, I don't know, like it, I feel like it came together. I had to really play around with it, because at this point I was running out of ink. I'm like, I gotta think something quick, because I don't have that much ink left in the markers I had last year, which was what I showed y'all earlier, which wasn't much, and the ones I just bought, which I'm like, I gotta make this stuff last. So I did what I could, and I made the floor. Added like a little shadow to show that the sun is out, and the character's shadow is on the floor, as you can see there. So yeah, day 29, Navigator. Day 30, violin. So, ain't much I could really do with this one. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was looking up, like on Pinterest, right? Pinterest is where I got a lot of my character poses inspiration from, because I'm like, I don't know how to draw this character holding a violin, because I'm sitting here just like, bro, I've never played violin day of my life, so I don't know how to hold violin. And a couple of the references I was looking at on Pinterest, I looked at the comment section for those on Pinterest, and I was just like, yo, they're saying that the person who drew this wrong. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't realistic to how someone would actually hold a violin. I'm just like, oh snap. Like, I gotta find like an actual good reference. People just like, yeah, this one's accurate. I'm like, this one's accurate? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, okay, gotta make sure this is like a 10 to 10, like a 1 to 1 scale. Not a 10 to 10, like a 10 out of 10, but like a 1 to 1 scale. So that's my main stipulation with this one. So I drew like a guy and a girl kind of like playing violin, not together, just guys separately. And I'll be honest, the guy, I ran out of time. I didn't add like any shading or anything like that for it, like the clothing. So, but I think I like it though, like the hands, that kind of stuff. I feel like it kind of like I feel like it works well. Yeah. The girl, kind of added like some shading, gave her a little bit of melanin in her skin. You might see it kind of like lightly. I did that, as well as what I did for day 17, like gave the character like melanin. Add some swirls on the character's I guess blouse or some type of shirt, I would say, with some kind of like wavy hair or whatever. But yeah, violin, day 30. Day 31, landmark. So I had no clue what to do for landmark. So I just drew like a landmark where I'm looking at my my stylus is on my desk, and I just drew that. And I got me at the bottom right, jumping up just like with like my hoodie and like sweatpants and socks on, just like, finally, because this is my landmark, because now I can go back to drawing with instead of traditional like on paper, I can go to draw digital work, because I'm done with Inktober, drawing daily on paper. And I'm just like, that was crazy, I'm be honest. Exhausting. Exhilarating, is that the word I'm looking for? I think so. It was a lot of fun, but man, I don't think I'm gonna be drawing. I haven't drew like on paper in a while, because I gotta buy myself a new sketchbook. But I'll probably get myself a new sketchbook until maybe like January, like maybe like the next year, like in January for next year. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be drawing digitally on what I use, Krita, the drawing software that I use. So yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like added shading, whatever to it. I used a lot of different shading techniques for this one, kind of like because I was looking, the light that was on my desk, like the lamp that's on my desk, had like a lot of different light that was coming from it. The light from my laptop, the light from the TV, like light from my lamp. So I was trying to use all those different lights to get the shadows just right. So that's why the shadows kind of look the way it does. But overall, I did pretty good. The black that you see like on the stylus itself, that's like the rubber part. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it for what I did for Inktober. I would say that my favorite days, let's go all the way back to day 1. Okay, I would say that my favorite days would be day 3, day 4, day 5, day 8, day 9, day 11, 12, 17, 18, 19, 22. I had a lot of fun with 22. To 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, and then 31. That's actually a lot. You know, I actually had like a lot of favorites that I just listed that I very much enjoyed drawing. Some of them were silly, but you know, granted, I did have a lot of fun. Because at first I was just like, ah, man, I didn't really do that good for Inktober. But looking back at it now, I'm just like, you know, I did my best. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna improve my like just drawing with ink, kind of like outside of Inktober, because that's pretty much what Inktober for me is, like just practicing drawing with ink each year. So yeah, I did pretty good. I'm going to be I'm just gonna be drawing with ink more often. I'll be doing Inktober for the long run. And for any character that you have a name for, that you want to give like a little name suggestion for, put it down in the comment section below. I've repeated that like multiple different times this video, but please do, because it's, like I said beforehand, it's really hard trying to come up with names for characters, because I've drawn up a blank. So if you have a name, let me know. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Alright, peace.
From the sky, and I look up and get a few just splattered when I guess my eye, and before I get a chance to wipe them, or before they try to discover that it's acid rain, and that will really fucking suck. And based upon my awful luck, I'd wander in the quicksand and get each one of my Nikes stuck and have to